I was trying my hand at becoming a botanist this morning when I realised money doesn't grow on trees. And that got me thinking what this could possibly mean for the future of No Man's Sky. That is right, guys. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the future of No Man's Sky and what could be in store coming up later this year. So let's get into today's video. However, we do have a very quick word from today's video sponsor. I would like to thank ExpressVPN for sponsoring today's video. We all use the internet every single day, from catching up on the latest news or watching your favorite Professor Cynical video. But did you know that if any of these websites are unencrypted, your information is available for all to see? However, by using a VPN or virtual private network, you're able to use your own personal tunnel to connect to the internet and keep prying eyes away. And this can also be if you're out and about, such as if you're at an airport or you're at a coffee shop or just using your local mall's Wi-Fi. All of this stuff is unsecure networks that you are connecting to, putting your personal information at risk from hackers. However, there is good news. With ExpressVPN, it encrypts your network, it encrypts your data, and it would take a supercomputer billions of years to get past its encryption. It also protects you from prying eyes such as your ISP or internet service provider by masking your unique IP address that's connected to your device. With that being said, ExpressVPN also gives you full access to the internet. The biggest one that I use it for is things like Netflix. So for example, some shows are just not available where I am in the UK, but they are in other parts of the world such as the US or in Australia. With ExpressVPN, I am able to change my location instantaneously and get access to shows and movies I'd otherwise not be able to get access to. To get ExpressVPN, just click the link below, and when you use my link, you will get your first 3 months for free. So there we have it, guys, and I want to thank ExpressVPN once again for sponsoring today's video. You know, guys, I'm actually looking forward right now to the future of No Man's Sky. Now, I only go off what I can see, and what I'm seeing right now is nothing but absolute magnificence. At the beginning of this year, I was very concerned about the direction of No Man's Sky going from the previous update that we had early on the first quarter. However, going off what has now been leaked, such as these mad looking space stations, it does open my eye up to maybe, just maybe, that this year is going to be an absolute staple for No Man's Sky and Hello Games. It seems like I've already said that they are listening to community feedback and they are taking on board what the community does want to see in No Man's Sky. Now, don't get me wrong, as a publisher, they have their own vision for No Man's Sky, but when a publisher does it right and takes into account not only what they want, but also what the community wants to start seeing, that's when you have a recipe for greatness. So with these new space stations comes a lot of speculation, and I am going to talk a little bit about what this could mean for No Man's Sky and try and keep the speculation under wraps. And this is just by no means going to be official, but this is more what I think that this could possibly mean. Now let's have a look at the space stations. For example, they are completely procedurally generated, which means that right now in the Fractals update, this was actually snuck in. It wasn't even part of the release logs. So this was actually snuck in the Fractals update, which is why it was so big, the files, when obviously the update wasn't as big as what we originally anticipated. But these files were snuck in, and that explains why some of the downloads, especially for console and on PC users, you're talking anywhere between 6 and 9 gigabytes of an update, when the update itself definitely didn't warrant the whole 6 to 9 gigabyte download. But this is why, because they are adding new models in, which means with it being procedurally generated, which means this is attached to the Havoc engine and it is all procedurally generated, it could possibly mean that the interiors of space stations will also change, and I'll show you what I mean in just a second. So we'll go to a brand new system here, and we'll just go to a brand new system and we'll have a look at a space station. So we'll go through to the entrance and then I'll pause the video and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So if I go ahead and just go into camera mode here, this should pause me in flight, which means we can just come back a little bit and take a look. Now, have you noticed how it just doesn't match up? So where the old space station interior And even all the way outwards where the tunnel system is and the box going around it, that's still classed as the interior of the space station. Now, do you see how it doesn't line up or match with any of the procedurally generated new space station exterior stuff? This is what's got me to think that this could be about to change. I think that with this new update that is going to be coming, it's going to be a big one. And one of the things that I think will be changed is the interiors as well of every single space station, normal space stations anyway, in No Man's Sky. I think that they'll all be procedurally generated as well. And the only reason I think this is because each procedurally generated space stations on the exterior all have different widths and whatnot of entrances, so it means that the interior is going to have to be procedurally generated with that in order for it not to look like a blocky mess like this. So if that's the case, my theory is that the interior and the exterior are going to have to be procedurally generated together, so it's going to be a completely unique space station every single time you go to a different system. That is my logic behind it. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section down below. But with that theory there that I've just presented, what it could also possibly mean is an answer to why they have held off any information whatsoever to do with the space station core. Because if they are changing the space stations entirely, then they're not going to give us access to the space station core and what that will potentially unlock until they've already done the space station work with the, you know, integration such as the internal and external procedural generation. But with that being the case, what these then could be used for, and I've seen it in the comment section as well, and a lot of people seem to be thinking on the same kind of track as I am. Maybe it will be finally able to unlock the secrets of the procedurally generated space stations to where you could actually own that space station for yourself. And on top of that, if that is the case, it's going to beg the question to why they will give you, what would be the purpose of them giving you your own space station to own? Why would they possibly do that? Now, I'll let you guys argue that speculation down in the comment section down below. Why do you think if they could give you a space station to own, what do you think the benefits would that be? Like, why would you need that in the game? Why would you want a space station? What would you do with it? Let me know what you think that Hello Games has in mind for that, because that's going down the rabbit hole of speculation, and I'm trying to be a bit more reserved these days. I'm trying to be a good boy. However, it does beg the question that with these procedurally generated space stations, does that mean that we're able to own this entire region of space? So if you were to example, and this is just what I think, if you was to example own the said space station, do you then own the entire system that space station is located into? But whatever the next update will be, the very least that we know that should be in the update, going from what we can physically see right now as evidence, is these new space stations procedurally on the outside at the very least, which is still a massive update nonetheless. It's going to be absolutely incredible, and I cannot wait to see when this new update will come out. Now, going forward, I hope that the Hello Games team doesn't put out another emoji, well, Mr. Sean Murray anyway, doesn't put out another emoji for this, because at the end of the day, it just doesn't convey the correct message in my mind. What the team needs to do is just be a little bit more open and say, this is what the update is called, this is vaguely what's in it, and then when it is released, give us the full white paper about it and list obviously all the features as per usual. But just boycott the emoji. It just doesn't give the right signals, because with this update, I think this update has got a lot of people excited now with the new features that we've already seen coming to No Man's Sky. So please, Mr. Murray, I'm begging you, no more emojis, just be straight with us. The community will thank you for it, I absolutely guarantee. Anyway guys, that is everything from me here today. Let me know your thoughts about all this in the comment section down below as per usual. And my name is Professor Cynical, and I'll catch you all again in the next one. Bye for now.